Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Counselor's Office. I'm Mr. Gaming Counselor, and I'm recording this in the day of Election Day for Oh America, and nothing says more American than people, I don't know, being upset about something. And it's not even just Americans, by the way. We're about to talk about Ubisoft. It's not just Americans that get upset, but we're talking about a video by Hero Hey. I've done a video by them. You can't see them, but the link will be down below for you. The title is Ubisoft just went off on gamers. And we've talked about devs going off and just trashing gamers. And so I'm very interested about this. It's an 8-minute video, and I'm excited to see if I can make this into 40 minutes. That's a joke, by the way. I know I ramble sometimes. But we're going to jump in and we're going to talk about Assassin's Creed. Haven't talked about that in a minute, so let's do that.
Here's a funny one. Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Whoa. Assassin's Creed Shadows.
So here's a funny one. Assassin's Creed Shadows boss claims DEI is killing game. Not only doubles down on it, but also attacks critics. That Park Place writing, Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed boss Mark Alexis Coty. Right when I finally learned how to pronounce Yves Guillemot, they give me a whole new one to get wrong.
Wait, so did they swap their CEO out or something, or whoever it is? Yeah, Assassin's Creed's boss. So they changed the boss. I'm sure that'll go well for them.
Anyone want to tell me the pronunciation for this? I'd appreciate it.
Cote? I think it's Cote, isn't it? Mark Alexis Cote.
Admitted that the company's injection of DEI into Assassin's Creed Shadows is harming the game's potential, but declared that he plans to double down on it and even attack his critics. So yeah, just a little more info.
Yeah, that makes sense. Hey guys, you all have given some criticism, and we acknowledge that it's actually hurting our game and our sales, but we're going to continue to do that because we're making a game for us, apparently. Like, that is exactly what you need. Like, someone in their team needs to just tell the boss to shut up. Just shut up. Like, take a page out of Pete Parsons, like from Bungie. He comes out of his 23 car garage once in a blue moon when he's firing people, but then you never hear anything from him. Like, he's silence, crickets. And this guy needs to shut up, apparently, because he is so stupid. You don't just tell, like, hey guys, we hear what you're saying. We agree. But at the same time, screw you. I'm going to do it. We're going to do even more of it.
So that's this guy, programmer and level designer at Ubisoft Quebec, currently serving as the vice president.
Oh, French Canadian. Oh, I don't know. I don't care if you're Canadian, but I'm just getting, just because I know it's going to make someone triggered.
Executive producer for the entire Assassin's Creed franchise. As reported by Eurogamer, that guy made an appearance at a BAFTA event where he shared that discussions of Ubisoft's DEI policies, quote, can influence how our games are perceived, but rather than shy away from those conversations, we should see them as an opportunity, unquote.
So an opportunity for who? If you know it's impacting your perception, why do you continue it? It's like, I'm as someone who has a master's degree in psychology. If you are trying to, you want, as someone you're trying to sell a product, you want to cater to your target audience. And your target audience is the majority of gamers who enjoy your game. Which, by the way, I know there's a lot of culture war crap between this game, but I'm like one of the few people raising the flag saying, hey, y'all are worried about the culture war crap in this game. I'm worried the fact that the game itself looks like ass. Like, the gameplay looks boring. It looks bad. It doesn't look like Assassin's Creed. The only thing that looks neat about it is the stealth mechanics. I watched the samurai part. It could be an Asian samurai and it would still be bad because it looks boring. Like, we have so many good samurai games out there. Why? And so that's just like where I'm at. Like, I don't like to get into the culture war aspect of things, but my God, please, can we just like point out the fact that even without the culture thing, it is just a bad game because it's bad. And if it wasn't bad, they wouldn't delay it.
From there, he attempted to gaslight people in attendance by stating, quote, Assassin's Creed has always been about exploring the full spectrum of human history, and by its very nature, that history is diverse. Staying true to history means
I'm going to let him finish the statement.
embracing the richness of human perspectives without compromise. For example,
Without compromise. The history is diverse, staying true to history. So, I mean, that's not really true, though. Like, you introduced, like, if, like, the expansions, like, there was literally, in like, Assassin's Creed 3, George Washington was a tyrant. Like, I know that's DLC, and it was more of, like, a what-if situation, which I'm fine with, but, like, he's making it say, like, we're staying true to history, but you don't. That's the point of Assassin's Creed, is you're taking the theme of history, but you're changing it. And I'm okay with that. If you're just honest about it, say, hey, we're taking concept of historical context and then we're making fantasy out of it. Cool. Like, I'm gonna be honest, we have mythology about, like, the Greek gods, or not Greek gods, the Egyptian gods, but, like, well, I think it was a Mirage or whatever it was called, was literally just you going around. The DLC was fighting a bunch of, like, Anubis and all these other gods, like, integrating. I just have been so distant from Assassin's Creed because it has gone so far off the beaten path that I don't even know what the hell the series is. And I heard the Viking game was great, which it probably should have just been its own thing instead of Assassin's Creed. Just like, that's the thing. Like, if you want to just, they have what it seems like is Ubisoft is afraid to just make new games. So they just take their IP that they know people like and just take the idea of a new game and just slap it into Assassin's Creed and say, hey, it's Assassin's Creed, when it should just be its own thing. Just say.
Example, in Assassin's Creed Shadows, we highlight figures both fictional, like Naui, a Japanese woman warrior, and historical, like Yasuke, the African-born samurai. While the inclusion of a black samurai in feudal Japan has sparked questions and even controversy, Naui, as a fictional character, has also faced scrutiny for her gender. But
I mean, let's be honest, at least historically, I mean, here's the thing. It is more historical to have a female assassin or ninja, not even assassin, it's just a ninja. Which is funny. A Japanese woman warrior. No, she's a ninja. She's a ninja. That's the problem. It's supposed to be Assassin's Creed, not Ninja's Creed. This is not Ninja Gaiden or whatever. This is Assassin's Creed. And then historical, which honestly is up in the air because the Ubisoft has tried to link to this base of work, which has been shown to be fake and not real credible. Like, the dude literally made his own wiki page and then cited his own wiki page in his own book, or like vice versa. Either way, it seems like a bunch of white people propaganda that isn't actually historically accurate. And a lot of people have come out who are actually historians to say, hey, this isn't true. Now, if they were to say that it was just fictional or lightly based on historical mythos or lore, like, can you say there's historical context of the lore of Yasuke? Sure. But painting it as like, this is the truth, this is the way. No, it's not. It's already been debunked, which is the big hot topic for people. And I'm going to be honest, I agree with them. If the people that are trying to say this is real and yet their sources are fake and there's no real actual verifiable truth to it, then just call it what it is. It's lore. It's myth. Just say it is based on the history of the myth. This is what we're doing, and no one's gonna care. Like, gamers are tired of insincerity, trying to gaslight and yes, that's gaslighting. Just call it what it is. Be honest with people. That's all that gamers want. We'd rather you be honest. Like, hey, we're doing a black character based on this myth, this lore of historical context. We don't know whether it's true or not, but we thought it'd be a cool idea to mix it up, and we're gonna do it. Now, we're gonna be people who are gonna be pissed off because it's Japanese and we don't have a Japanese character outside of one. Yes, it does seem like we're ticking off the tokenism check marks. But again, it goes all the way back to, even if I want to ignore the characters, the gameplay is ass. I've seen it and it looks bad. Like, there was a video of people showing how buggy the gameplay was, and like doors were floating. Like, it was so bad that I think people picked at it so much that they like, oh yeah, we need to fix this up. And that's why it's been delayed until next year.
Maui, as a fictional character, has also faced scrutiny for her gender. But just as Yasuke's presence in Japanese history is fact, so too are the stories of women who defied societal expectations and took up arms in times of conflict.
That last part could be very accurate. The second part could be very accurate. The first part is fact. You don't have sources. It's like, trust me, bro. The white dude that made a book and then made a wiki based off his book, or vice versa, whatever it is, he's like, yo, look at this. Facts. Where'd you get your sources? Me. I'm my own source. Trust me, bro.
So while both Naui and Yasuke's stories are works of historical fiction, they reflect the collision of different worlds, cultures, and roles, and their inclusion is precisely the kind of narrative that Assassin's Creed seeks to tell, one that reflects the complexity and interconnectedness of our shared history. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I haven't seen anyone...
Connectedness or correctedness? Did I say that wrong?
Our shared history.
Connectedness of our shared history. Okay.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I haven't seen anyone take an issue with Naui. All the critiques that I've seen of AC Shadows regarding the...
Yeah, like, you have a Japanese character. She's a woman. Who cares, right? No. I mean, there was already an Assassin's Creed like character. I forgot what her name is. Was it like a mobile game or something? It was like a small game. We already had a female. And then, like, no biggie, right? No one's like, oh, woman bad. I mean, we have Lara Croft. Like, Tomb Raider series is, I mean, and then Aloy from Forbidden West or whatever it's called. Sorry, someone's gonna be mad. But like, we have Tifa, Aerith from Final Fantasy VII. Like, we have badass characters. That's okay. No one's like, woman bad. Woman, me man. Me want men. No woman. Woman must have big tatas. Like, no, that doesn't happen. Like, I think no one's complaining because it's more factual that you're right. Women did fight and participate in wars. So it's more logical. But you're being sincere about a character that, you're talking about nowadays. Yeah, there's probably Black African, Japanese people. But like, back then, that was a rarity. That wasn't something you saw all the time, unless you're talking about slaves. I don't know much about Asian history in regard to slaves.
Characters is specifically directed at Yasuke, and that's because of the whole historical inaccuracies thing. In my opinion, this statement seems like the guy's trying to muddy the waters, so to speak. Like, he's not acknowledging the issues that people have with Yasuke and the historical inaccuracies and all.
No, he's obviously trying to like blanket statement, like, you know what? I'm ignoring all the controversy. I'm ignoring all the pieces of evidence that people have brought forward about how, the context of Yasuke is very debatable, and there is no clear validity. And for all intents and purposes, it should have been that we have not verified the existence of this person as a real samurai, but just based on the mythos of it, we thought it would be cool to have a spin in historical context, like a what if situation. What if there was a black samurai versus it was just fact? Like, that's I can understand people being upset about that, especially, and apparently a lot of Japanese people are upset about this. Sound off if you're Japanese or Asian in general, and you're upset about this. No, I think it's more Japanese because it's feudal Japan, right? So like China, like, well, would you care? But I'm just saying, I mean, maybe all Asian people can give their input, because, I mean, for all we know, they might do something about China and say there's a American emperor. I don't know. Who knows?
All that stuff. Instead, he's trying to act like people's issue with Yasuke is simply that they don't want diversity in games. And again, they use this word very disingenuously, in my opinion.
Yeah, no one cares about like diversity. Like Barrett, Final Fantasy, even one of the oldest series, and was from a Japanese game. Final Fantasy VII, Barrett, big tough guy, African American, badass. Everyone loves him. He's a great character. You can have diversity and it be good, and you can be honest about what you're trying to do. Like, the funny thing is no one called out Final Fantasy for having a black character. Oh my God, he's black. Because they weren't spouting it as like truth, facts. This is history. No, it was fantasy, and that's what they went for. And I think, honestly, you might as well, like, can we be real? Assassin's Creed, as soon as it started doing fictional characters like gods as like real things, we went off a beaten path of reality. There is no real history. Maybe have some flavor text, but let's not say everything is fact or historically accurate. Let's just say it's based on historical concepts and you're good. Like, if you want to go full fantasy, go for it. We could have some really cool things. And I think that would be a great way to freshen up the series. Is just, you want to dive into the fantasy. I would like a futuristic assassin game. That would be badass. Like, we have Splinter Cell, and I want to go back and play those games, but you could do something with Assassin's Creed that's based on that, like tech, that's all this. Like, that would be cool. But like, let's not sit there and muddy the waters, as he says.
Then also trying to apply the same thing to Naui and then rolling both those arguments together into one disingenuous bad faith pie. It's always been diverse, he said, and this isn't new ground for the franchise. From Altair to Aveline, we've consistently introduced protagonists from diverse racial, ethnics, and gender identities. History.
Yeah, but so here's the thing. So you're talking about Altair. That was the very first character. It was also based in the area of like the Holy War and stuff like that. And guess what? You didn't just have a the Christians were whites. The Crusaders, they were white. They weren't black African Americans. It wasn't. I'm just like, it was. Maybe there was. Maybe I'm wrong, but it was obviously. We had Altair, Middle Eastern. It made sense, but the whole context is you have these white Christians invading, and they're the Templars, and that was it, right? That was the whole. They had the Red Cross, everything, the medieval style stuff. Like, it made sense. But again, it would be really stupid if suddenly we had and we even had a woman crusader. I believe that we had multiple of those fights, and that's fine. Again, no one's saying anything about gender. Why are we bringing up gender? No one cares about the gender. Assassin's Creed has had many different female characters, some that we really liked and some we really hated. But let's be honest. Let's just be honest. You're just using this as a scapegoat of the main problem that people have, which is the disingenuous of what you're trying to do. You're trying to say one thing and the reality is another.
History is inherently diverse, and so is Assassin's Creed and the stories we tell. So to be clear, our commitment to inclusivity is grounded in historical authenticity and respect for diverse perspectives, not driven by modern agendas. That's rich coming from the people who will literally butcher history, specifically to try and shoehorn in Yasuke as a character that they want, which is also insulting to Yasuke, by the way. They're basically saying, like, what we factually know about him is not good enough. They got it right there headcanon and tried to present it as fact. Next, he attacked critiques of Ubisoft's diversity.
I don't know what exactly he means by that. Like, did I miss something? To commit inclusivity and grounding in historical authenticity and respect for diverse perspectives, not driven by modern agendas, he declared. But diverse perspectives, your the whole perspective of Yasuke is based on one singular main book, which has been debunked by a dude who's just, trust me, bro, I made a Wikipedia. Like, he's been caught mudding the waters. Like, what? This isn't like Abraham Lincoln, where you can do some deep research on it. This isn't like, I don't know any other historical context, but someone mentioned in the last previous video that there was like African American warlords and stuff like that you could really focus on. And that's the thing. Like, you could make like, here's my big problem. We want diversity. Why is it that we have to have a black samurai in a Japanese feudal era when you could just make a game in Africa? Why don't you just make a game based off an African American who was born in Africa, based on any mythology, or like, why? If that was the case, if you're wanting to diversify, then why don't you just make a game? Because technically, like I said, we already had like an Asian game with like a female character. So why is this not just Africa? I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Like, why not just make it? And here's, you want to know why? Here's devil's advocate. Because it probably won't sell. And I'm not being racist. I'm being honest. And there's a difference. Racist is someone who hates racist or like other races and think they're inferior. I'm just stating a matter of fact based on the fact that there are racist people who don't like other races. And so that's why they're not making an African game. They'll insert a African token into a game of Japanese, like, hey, good, look at this. Guys, you can't say we didn't do anything about Africans. We got one. They won't do it. And honestly, that says more about them than it does about Africa, because I think you can make a good African American game based on some cool characters. It's just how you make it, how you spin it, how you focus on it. Like, again, we have Barrett. You make a badass character that people really enjoy, they're going to play it. But is Barrett a side character? Absolutely, he's a side character. Who's the main character? A white character. And that's the reality. People are afraid to make games based on Africa because they know it won't sell. Not because I think it should sell. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the reality is there are probably too many racist people and too many. And here's a sad thing is that it's not even that gamers care. Like, most gamers don't care if it's a good game they play. It's just you have the social context of, well, so-and-so's talking about this game and I like so-and-so. So now, even though I'd be interested in this game, I have to follow the group mentality and I'm going to be against this game. Or my so-and-so is part of this party and I want to follow them. Like, there's a lot of politics, a lot of like social aspects, but let's be honest. There's a lot of group following, but in a pocket, a lot of gamers would be okay to play a game that was, the setting is Africa. Also, I'm thinking to myself that I've been saying African American. So if I've been saying that, disregard. I'm saying Africa or North Africa. Or I don't know. Sometimes I talk so much I forget what I was saying or previously. But what I'm on, Africa, just a game based on Africans, and that's what it should be on. But I would be very surprised if we see that. That's my honest opinion. Do I think it's like 100% written in stone? Maybe I'll be surprised, but this is why they're inserting a African American in a Japanese game, is because they're not going to make one based on actual just African heritage and culture, which says more about them and their want for money and sales than actually trying to tell a story. Oops. Not what I wanted.
In historical authenticity and respect for diverse perspectives, not driven by modern agendas. That's rich coming from the people who will literally butcher history specifically to try and shoehorn in Yasuke as a character that they want, which is also insulting to Yasuke, by the way. They're basically saying, like, what we factually know about him is not good enough. They gotta write their headcanon and try to present it as fact. Next, he attacked critiques of Ubisoft's diversity and inclusion policies, which he is clearly an advocate for, saying, alongside these deep-rooted franchise values is our commitment to recognize and listen to legitimate criticism as an essential part of the creative process. Our community helps us grow, evolve, and deliver better games. Today we all, however, face the added challenge of distinguishing between genuine feedback and attacks driven by intolerance, he said. These people are such creeps. They just lie about this stuff and openly gaslight. They pretend like they care about all these things, but for them it's all about ESG score and money. The current...
And I think that I do think there is some truth to that. But here's the thing. If I don't know, I'm going to be very honest. I don't know much about ESG scores and all that stuff. But what I can tell you is that if they just made a game constantly about white people and it would make them the most money, they would absolutely do it. They would. They would just absolutely do it. Now, are they trying to pull in from different pools of people? Absolutely. We have seen more and more companies trying to spread their grasp and tried to capture more different audiences. And that has some pros, but it also has cons. Because a game, if you try to make a game for everyone, then no one's going to be happy. No one's going to enjoy that game because someone's going to find errors in it. And that's the thing. You need to funnel and focus on who are you targeting this game for. You can't make everyone a gamer. And let's be honest, the only reason they're doing that is not to diversify and to really make the world better. We really want to enrich the gaming world. No, they want more money. So how can we spread the net to get as much money as possible? That's all it is. Most of these companies do not care about race. They don't care about LGBT or all the other issues. They just do it because they want money. And they're trying to grab as many people in as possible. And you know what? You can do that if you do what like Baldur's Gate does, where it's not the biggest part of the game. It's just in the game, right? You can be a homosexual. You can be a straight man. You can be you can be a squid. You can have sex with a devil. Like you can screw a bear. And it's not like this is it's just built into it. It is not the encompassing factor of it. You can just play it and enjoy however you want to enjoy it. And I think people just don't realize that good games, it's part of it. Like Barrett, he's African American, but that isn't the focus of his character. He's just in there. His character is himself. The Tomb Raider, Lara Croft, she's a woman, but that's not like the main focus. The focus is that she's roaming and invading tombs. She's a badass. She's a badass, right? I'm just saying, like, it's just the focus. They focus on all these things that really just don't matter.
Current climate is tough on our creative teams. They face lies, half-truths, and personal attacks on.
Face lies, half-truths, and personal attacks on. Like, now, I agree that personal attacks, this happens. But what I want to say is I think developers nowadays will take I would say most attacks are like 1%. Compared to the majority of criticism most people get. Like in the grand scheme of things, it's like it's a very low percentage, right? But they'll take that and they will dangle that as a way to excuse all the fair criticism. They'll like, oh, we're getting personal attacks. Like Bungie did this. They shut off communication. They stopped talking because personal attacks. So they focused on the low population of the most loud speakers, the people who are the loudest, to disregard fair criticism. And I'm gonna be honest. I think that's disingenuous and it's very disrespectful to your consumer.
Online, when the work they poured their hearts into is twisted into a symbol of division, it's not just disheartening, it can be devastating. You already know that this man is ready to get his soy latte after this speech. What keeps me going is the resilience born out of conviction that I see in our teams every day. I'm especially proud of the Shadows team for staying true to their creative vision and the core tenets of Assassin's Creed.
What are the core tenets of Assassin's Creed? Because I don't even know what they are anymore. Because it's definitely not like consistent. I'll be honest. It's not consistent right now because I'm so excited to go back because I got the Ezio bundle and I got the original Assassin's Creed. Like I'm excited to go back. And apparently there's a rumor of a remake of Assassin's Creed. Oh, baby, I'm ready to go back to Altair. But, like, I'm more excited to play the old games than I am the new games.
By choosing Naui and Yasuke as protagonists, we are expanding the narrative landscape, offering new points of view that challenge established norms found in many works of fiction, while staying true to the history that shaped them.
Offering new points of view that challenge established norms found in many works of fiction, while staying true to the history that shaped them. So you're you're creating fiction, like, just come out and say Yasuke isn't, like, we don't know if he's real or not. We don't know if he's a real samurai. We're just going to take the context of the historical, like I said earlier, like, bro, what is this word gymnastics?
Them. At the end of the day, Assassin's Creed is not just a franchise, it's a platform for entertainment, dialogue, discovery, and understanding. Our commitment isn't just about reflecting on the past, it's about ensuring that the stories we tell continue to unite inspire, and challenge players, regardless of their background, and will continue to stand by these values because they're central to the heart of the franchise, and I believe to the future of storytelling itself. Ultimately, we believe that the diversity and richness of the human experience is what helps Assassin's Creed resonate with players across the globe, and we're committed to standing firm on that foundation. I find it hilarious that he talks about people all across the globe, when all across the globe, people refer to Ubisoft as Ubislop. And they
Yeah, like it is pretty bad, and even like Rainbow Six Siege is a very popular game. I would say popular, but it's a game that has lived on for some time. Now we have like Master Chief, and we have a dude in a wheelchair, and people are railing the game like inclusivity. Yes, because nothing says we're inclusive than having a dude in a wheelchair, because people in wheelchairs often want to play a game where they're also in a wheelchair. I don't think video game developers realize that people play video games to escape the real world. They want to live in fantasy. They want to live in fiction. They don't want whatever fan fiction, historical context that people want to build. Like people, like I guarantee most people who are handicapped don't want to play a game where they're also handicapped. They would like to live in a world where they can escape some of that and just be the person they always wanted to be. Now, I'm not saying every person's like that, but I'm going to say there's a majority of people who don't want to play a version of themselves in the game that's handicapped.
especially managed to get like the entire country of Japan to absolutely hate them. He then doubled down on this idea.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of people in Japan who do not like him, and I've seen people actively make fun of him. But I mean, I want to be plays devil's advocate. We don't have like an actual percentage of people who like or dislike Assassin's Creed Shadows. The most obviously the people who are vocal are the ones that don't like it, whereas the people who don't care either plan on playing it or never plan on playing it in the first place, so they just don't care. And so that's something you have to think in the grand scheme of things. If they don't actively care, they're never going to say anything about whether they believe it to be historical or not.
Yeah, that Assassin's Creed is not a game, but something else altogether. Gosh, these people are.
I mean, what? A platform meaningful explorer wrapped in excitement is few creative immersion fun that gives you. What?
Heck. Assassin's.
Wait, doubles down. Assassin's Creed is not a game, but something else. No, it. That's the problem. It shouldn't be fan fiction. It is supposed to be a video game. It is supposed to be a game. Like, what do you mean? That's what it should be. It's supposed to be a game.
Creed is more than, he really says it. Oh my gosh, bro. Assassin's Creed is more than just a game. It can be a platform for meaningful exploration and reflection wrapped in the excitement of unforgettable gameplay. And it's that fusion of creativity, diversity, immersion, and fun.
Unforgettable gameplay. It's not a game. No, it is gameplay. It is game. And I know I'm picking at it, but like, I'm picking at this because everything he says is a word gymnastics where he's trying to, like, instead of trying to make things pretty and try to, let's just say it what you're trying to say, bud. Like, he's just, it's not a game. It's more. No, it's but the gameplay.
That continues to define the franchise and connect it with players around the globe. I might actually die of cringe before I finish this article. It might really happen, but I'll try.
It is cringy, but I do, like, it's funny enough, I can't tell who's more cynical or more facetious, me or this guy, because this guy, like, I'm trying to give you actual points, whereas this guy seems like he's hating it to hate it. So I kind of disagree. Like, playing devil's advocate, he does seem like he's hating it to hate it. Like, he's made some good points, but he really does seem like his mind is, I hate this. I'm just going to tell you how much I hate this versus I try to give some feedback and actual valid criticism. I try to explain things. That's why videos become like an hour.
He paints himself in Ubisoft as, oh yeah,
By the way, I joked about this being 40 minutes, and it actually is going to be like 40 minutes, ironically.
Die. It's over. He paints himself and Ubisoft as victims. Yeah, this massive corporation.
Wait, what? The story for the game worlds we build are instrumentalized, but those who seek to silence creativity, to stoke fear, and incite hatred. We believe we're facing what Fareed Sikri called Age of Revolution, a time when the real conflict is not between the left and right, but between societies that close themselves off and those that open themselves up to the world. Throughout history, it's the open societies that have always eventually prevailed. While there may be setbacks over the years, can we just have a like that's the thing. No one wants a game based on society. People want a game based on a game. That's the problem. People don't play games to insert themselves into society. They're trying to escape it. That's the point of video games, is it's supposed to get me away from my life when I'm dealing with society. Especially people who feel like they have no control over society, because sometimes society sucks so much ass that you just want to play a game where you feel like you're in control in a world that you actually enjoy. I know that's a hard concept. No one wants to live in the real world 24/7 when the real world sometimes just sucks. I'm sorry. Sometimes you need to take a brain break and you just like, you know what? Too much reality for me. I need some fiction. And if you think, oh, well, that's a bad thing, then why do people watch movies? Why do people listen to music? Why do people read books? Guess what? It's to escape reality. People do this to entertain themselves. Guess what? It's to escape reality. Why do people do drugs, which I don't condone? Why do people people do a lot of things. Why do people play sports? It's to escape reality because it's something that they enjoy doing. There are so many reasons why people do things. It's because they want to escape the reality that sometimes life sucks. There are parts of life that suck that you can't control, but you can sometimes put yourself in a pocket, in a bubble, play video games, and enjoy yourself where you're not stressing about everyday life things, something that you can control. I know that's hard to understand for most video game companies.
They're just a bunch of victims to these individual gamers. Those gamers are so terrifying. We gotta help the corpos. This reminds me of that Sweet Baby Inc. stuff that I just talked about yesterday, where they also were playing victim and were like trying to beg corporations and like government and institutions to protect them from individual gamers. I really don't know how anyone could live their lives like this. I say lame all the time with these people. I mean, it's the perfect word in my opinion. These are like the lamest people ever. How are they happy with themselves? How do they accept this as like the lives that they really live? Bunch of corpos acting like they're the biggest victims of all time.
And I will say, I do hate companies like this where they try to attack or throw back and blame like the whole gamer population. Are there bad? Like are there like certain gamers that really stand out and they're just like over the top? Absolutely. I'm going to give you the credit of that. That absolutely is something that happens. But it is often used as an excuse to do the bare minimum, to not heed criticism. Like they're looking for an out. If you don't want to change or you don't want to do anything that would hinder you, like your money, because let's be honest, these are very rich companies that can make changes, but they refuse to do so because they don't want to hurt their bottom dollar, right? They don't want to hurt it. So they're going to use whatever excuse they can to get out of it. Like, oh, well, look, we're going to do this, but we keep being attacked. And so these gamers, man, they're never happy. They're never happy.
These people have so much power and money backing them. The stories we tell, the characters we create, the game worlds we build are instrumentalized by those who seek to silence creativity, to stoke fear, and incite hatred. I believe we are facing what CNN anchor Fareed Zakaria calls an history. It's the open societies that have always eventually prevailed, while there may be that has continually pushed humanity forward. Yap, man. Like, Ubisoft will do literally anything except make a good game nowadays. This echoes the selfless.
See, I'm going to give some criticism to this guy. Yap. But you're not really criticizing them. Like, at least I give some criticism. Like, I'm just saying, like, when you make videos like this and you're just spewing like yap. Okay, that's not a criticism. It is your personal opinion and you have a right to it. But like, at least give some background reasoning for why that upsets you or you don't like it. Like, come on.
Bravery of our Assassin's Creed protagonists. They fought for freedom, knowledge, and the right to chart their own paths, just as we, as creators, fight to tell stories that matter in a world that grows increasingly divided. As the authors of How...
That's the problem. We are creating stories that matter. To who does it matter to? to you or the people that you're trying to sell a product to. That's the problem. Game developers are making games for themselves. These are like people my age, millennials, who are like, now I have the power to make the game I always wanted for me. I'm going to tell my story now, not the story that people want or want to buy. I'm going to sell you the story that I want to buy. And that's a problem. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
How democracies die. So powerfully stated, democracies crumble when good people decide to stay silent. The same is true, I think, of our creative freedom when we allow fear to stifle our voices.
Fear. When we self-center in the face of threats, we hand over our power, place buttons. So I'm going to let him read.
In the face of threats, we hand over our power, piece by piece, until freedom and creativity both wither away. We cannot let that happen. It's time for us as creators to stand firm on our commitment to our values by telling stories that inspire, that challenge, and that help people connect. Our silence cannot become complicit.
So, like, let's go back to that. Like, creative, he's acting as if all the gamers that are complaining about shadows, which granted, there's definitely some overtype complaints, right? I truly believe we could just focus on the gameplay, and the gameplay alone itself is ass, and that's a reason to criticize the game. I'm just gonna. But if people want to focus on the cultural aspect and point out inconsistencies, and they are obviously shouting from the top, we're historically accurate. It's based on fact. Like, he's setting himself up for failure. If you put out and make statements like this, then people have a right to throw back and criticize you. But to go and say that we are forcing you to censor, hand over your power until freedom and creativity both wither away. No. See, you have the creative freedom to make a game, but you should not. It's not meant for you. You act as if we're taking you lose some of your freedom. Absolutely. As a video game creator, you lose your freedom to make the game that you want because the game is not meant for you. It is a social contract. It is a consumerism. You don't make a game. You don't make something for yourself. If you say like you go to a restaurant and I order shrimp Alfredo, but the chef decides, you know what? I would like a chicken Alfredo with jalapenos and squash mixed in. And you bring it out to me and it's sent out to me. I'm going to be upset because that's not what I want. That's not what I ordered. Just because you thought you wanted that. And that's like, yes, am I hindering your creative freedom to make something that you always wanted to make? It's not meant for you. It's meant for me. I'm the one purchasing it. If you want to make a game for yourself, do it on your own time. And that's the problem. You're supposed to make products for the people who want your game. But if you want to make this fan fiction, then you should fully expect to see backlash, because if you've made a series and people expect this consistency of you're making the game for them, but you decide suddenly I'm going to make the game for myself, you're going to get backlash. It makes sense. Yes, you're losing your freedom to make the game that you want for yourself. You are going to make a game creatively for the people who are going to buy, purchase, and give you money. You are making your job. Your job is literally to cater to gamers. That is what a game developer does. You make games for people to consume, not for you. You want to make fan fiction, go home and write in your journal. It's not hard to understand. Make a game that is meant for you, and it isn't made for your target audience. You're going to lose your target audience. I'll give you an example. Dragon Ball Z. Guess what? What happens if they decide to make a Dragon Ball Z game and Goku, insult people, Goku, there we go, isn't even the main character. And heck, he's not even in it. Instead, we're just going to put this random Asian character in there. Naku. We have Naku now. We have this, or African. There is an African American character. I forget what his name is. He's Oob. Oob. That's right, Oob. But just imagine we have like this random Japanese character. Just no Goku. He's been replaced. No Goku. He's been replaced. Sorry, not main character anymore. We have this character now. Don't you want to play it? No, bitch. People bought Dragon Ball Z because they love Goku. They want Goku. They play and watch Dragon Ball Z because of Goku. Now, of course, there's side characters that people love, but I'm just saying, like, you can't just take something that is deep-seated and then suddenly decide, I'm going to make what I want instead, and you're just going to buy it because that's what I want. I've been ranting a lot, and I apologize, but it's like this concept is so wide in the gaming community, like the gaming industry. Like, just make a game that people want to play, and it will get you what you want, which is money.
That challenge and that help people connect. Our silence cannot become complicit. This dude is some rich corpo, and he's acting like he's oppressed. How extremely obnoxious.
That is funny. Like, yes, that is a good thing. Like, this dude, he is the boss. He's not the dev. He's just the boss. So, like, how much work is he actually doing? My God, he probably has 30 cars compared to Pete Parsons and Bungie.
He then issued his closing statement saying, "To our players, the ones who have stood by us, supported us, and celebrated our work over the years with enthusiasm and constructive feedback, this stance is for you. You are the heart of our journey. We create for you, and your support fuels our creativity and strengthens our resolve to keep pushing boundaries, to tell stories that matter. This journey is yours as much as it is ours, and I thank you for being with us every step of the way. I'm an optimist and a dreamer, and I believe that the answer to hate is to continue creating experiences that celebrate the richness of our world and capture the magic of our collective imagination. Because in the end, creativity is stronger than fear, and together we are creating the future of entertainment," he concluded.
I'm going to say that this is obviously not true. You have so much, like, let's be honest. If the game was in a good place and they felt confident that it would get sales, they wouldn't push it back. In fact, Ubisoft, their stocks have tanked. People aren't pre-ordering Assassin's Creed Shadow. In fact, they made a season pass free. Like, all that, they're like, they are backtracking so much. So if you were making a game for people, you were actually doing it. Not only that, Ubisoft games are now back on Steam, so keep that in mind. You're making all these changes because you're not getting the sales that you want. You're not actually making a game for the gamers. You are gaslighting yourself.
"Together, we are creating the future of entertainment," he concluded. I am so glad that's over. I don't need to read any more quotes from this guy. Just reading like 10 minutes of his nonsense was enough for me. I can't imagine actually being that dude and thinking like this all the time. Thank you all for tuning in.
Yeah, I mean, hit the like button if you agreed and you enjoyed the video. I think there were some good points. I do. My general thought is I think there was like excessiveness. And yes, this is an 8-minute video, but I felt like I just wanted to talk about this because I keep seeing stuff about Ubisoft. I keep seeing things about this issue. And it's just as there's too many like woke people that are overblowing things, you also have game developers that are minimizing the main issues. And my issue is, again, if I don't buy Assassin's Creed Shadows, it is not because there's a black samurai or a female ninja or just ninja in general. It's just, well, yeah, that is actually part of it. It's the fact that we're playing Assassin's Creed and there's a samurai and a ninja versus just assassins. That's one. The second one is the gameplay looks like ass. Those are the two things that I wouldn't even bother play the game. It could be two white dudes. It could be two Japanese people. I don't care because the two fundamental issues is the game fun and is it good? Is it enjoyable? And it didn't look enjoyable and it didn't look fun. And so that's why I personally won't be buying it. And this is about an hour-long video, but I think this is just like, it's just a topic that I'm passionate about because it's just this constant back and forth. It's too woke. Gamers are attacking us. So we're going to minimize everything, every criticism. Oh, gamers, they're horrible. We can't listen to them. Blah blah blah. Making a game, we're gonna make a game for ourselves versus a game for the target audience. Like I hate both sides. I hate that we're extreme on both sides. I just want a developer like Larian who just makes a game that they want for the gamers, and you can choose your path. You choose your story. You could be gay, straight, black, white. You could be a squid. You can do hentai stuff. You live your life, boo-boo. And that's the thing. Like, I think Baldur's Gate, even though I don't play it, and that's the funny thing. I want you, if you've stuck around, I want you to realize I have never touched a Baldur's Gate game. I've watched it. I've seen reviews of it. I've seen parts of it. And yet I can give it such high praise because I know what a good game is. I can give it praise. And even though I've never played it, I can see that it's a good thing. It's a good thing for everyone. It is the most inclusive game out there. It's not woke, but it's focused specifically for the gamers. That's the intent. It's made for the gamers, for them to enjoy, and you can take what you want from it. But it is also it is technically the most wokest game because you can literally do anything in the game. You can literally be anyone in the game. So technically, it is the most wokest game that we have out there. But the thing is, people enjoy it because it's a good game. It is fun, it is enjoyable, and it's made for the gamers. And that's the thing. A woke game doesn't make a game bad. What makes a game bad is when the game is just bad. Can it add to the badness of it? Sure. Will a woke game ruin the fun of it? Probably not really. Maybe to a certain extent. But let's be honest. If it's just the dialogue, just turn the dialogue off if you enjoy the game. That's my general thought of it. Again, sorry this is a long video. I love how ironic I said I'm an 8-minute video into it, like an hour, and here we are, an hour later. Who would have thought that this guy would have got me so focused? So hit that like button, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel for more. As always, don't forget to be the best version of yourself, and game out.